So I just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware of today's sponsor, which is Raid Shadow Legends. I can't do it. No, sorry. So, I know I promised mini content, and mini content is coming. However, I got to change things around a bit in here to accommodate some changes. And this particular beastie needed a little bit of care and attention. It needs a once-over, a check, if you will, an examination, just to make sure that everything is running okay. This is my 2005 Ford Ranger, aka the Danger Ranger, and I've owned this for coming up to 3 years. When I bought it, it had a few bits and pieces wrong with it, and now I put it in here. We spent a month or two fixing all the problems, and I've been driving around in it ever since. And apart from the odd oil change, it's had a few oil changes. I like my oil changes. Keep those regular. And a new battery, and I sort of leak out because it was full of water. It's been absolutely fine. It's coming up for some new tyres, which are actually in the back. And it's been doing a little bit of work lately. I've been doing a little bit of towing, a few bits and pieces, and that was what got me the other day, is that I was towing a 1-ton tipper trailer, which obviously adds a bit of weight to the old rig. And the trailer's braked, obviously. However, I'm trying to stop this whole sort of like train, and I'm thinking, yeah, do you know what? I'm not entirely happy with those brakes. And I want to have a good look round at the brakes. I want to have a good look underneath. The car, I Lana guarded this about 8-9 months ago. Video is somewhere in the history, in all the thing. I don't know if I can link to those, because I'm not sure. It doesn't work. Technology, it confuses me. I just don't. So, what we got to do, first thing we got to do is I'll have a look under the bonnet and show you all the Japanese diesel engine, because it's really interesting. And then we'll jack up the car. Well, we're not going to jack up the car. We'll have a look at that in a second. But anyway, so let's have a crack. The truck was previously owned by whoever they were. Can you see that? Come from up north somewhere, and I bought it from some really shady guy in Newport. Ooh. Sold it to me as a running, breathing, living animal, etc., etc. And I drove it up the road, and the clutch immediately failed, which was fun. I just can't do this with one hand. Hang on. Oh, don't. See, why are you moving? You shouldn't move. Anyway, so the clutch immediately failed, which then required me and a mate of mine, because you can't, it's big, it's heavy, transfer box, all that. We decided we changed the clutch, and I pretty much did all the rear shocks, brakes, because they were shot terrible. But you don't pay a lot for these things, or you didn't 3 years ago. You do now, because everyone wants to send them out to Ukraine. But basically, this thing here, this engine, the Ford Mazda WLT, 105 of your finest Japanese ponies. I suppose, like their cows, Japanese horses are fed Guinness and massaged every 3 days. I don't know. Anyway, this is the slightly later version of it with the emission control, which is, yeah. This particular unit is going to require a little bit of work before long. The injectors are perpetually squeaking a bit out, despite me replacing them. The glow plugs want doing, and in all honesty, it's probably going to be right to do the timing belt on it. And when I do the timing belt on it, I'm also going to want to do the injection pump, because this boy is smoky. Well, I say smoky, it is wound up a little bit with the yeah, anyway, there's a few other bits and pieces. I've got to swap some boost hoses around. I'm also looking to put a different intercooler on it as well, the Mark III intercooler, which apparently is close enough fit. That's got to go on here as well. But I've to get older one at a recent that isn't like more than the truck's worth is, you know. I also wanted to do a dual battery. There's a big hole there. Yeah. Now I like holes, right? Not even fussed about, you know, how big or small. You know, but I've always got to feel the need to fill it. Yeah. Do you get that? Do you get that? I do. You know. Anyway, so what I'm intending to do is put another one of them there, and have a split charge system. So what it does is I can fiddle around one thing or another, and I have an outlet on the front for jump leads and a few bits and pieces, because the truck does do a little bit of work. It pulls a few bits and pieces. It does. It's not, you know, it's not by any way, shape or form a vanity item. It does do a bit of work. It is full of crap, you know. Anyway, we need to get this up in the air. So I've done enough of that. We can have a look around this later on. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This really does take a little while. I gotta get the whole sort of positioning a bit, which is one of the reasons I need to reorganise this place, and reorganising this place is a lot of work. I can't believe how tight that is there. We got to work things out in terms of how this all fits in here and everything else. And I did have a go, as you can see by the lines on the floor, I did have a go at trying to line it up and getting it working and what have you. And then I thought we'd have enough play this way because it would come back. I didn't go back far enough, and we'll get there. Anyway, I'm going to get all these wheels off and we can have a look at these brakes. There's 6. There we go. Yeah, I remember now. I put these temporary looking lug nuts on here 3 years ago-ish, somewhere around there. I had every intention of replacing them when I got the proper ones. 3 years later, yeah, as you can see, that's been done. However, I do have new ones. Just realised that these are a different, I think they require a different socket anyway, so. One, two, three, four, and we got one more. I always miss one. Because it's not 5, it's 6. Right. Yeah. I'll be honest with you, and I did give this a go with the old Lanegarde as well. I'm not. if I was to say, does it do what is advertised? I'm at the moment, I'm not feeling that, to be honest with you. There has obviously been some sort of, you know, and when I did this, I did it quite extensively, as you'll see from the earlier video. Anyway, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to give this a good brush. Make a massive mess on the floor. And I'm going to do this on the back, both sides, but we'll do this side first, because we've got access to this. As you can see, just a few little wire. It's nothing, nothing. Should have seen the other guy, far worse. And I just want to point out, look at the size of it. It's massive. So yeah, we got the words. We have the tone. We're all, you know, we're all lightened up. Yeah, it's all good. I suppose one of the big differences between this and a lot of other things, or a lot of other vehicles, is, as you can see, despite the fact that we've got quite a bit of, you know, this type of thing on it and what have you, and as you can see that, yeah. So I am not worried about any of this, because none of it is in any way, shape or form structural. It's not even close to being structural. It is £7. It looks kind of nasty, but if you think about what, and this is something that I'll never be, even the thin stuff has been, you know, I replaced that. Even all that has been quite actually well looked after. Is you know, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this bit of a job to get it all sorted and what have you, and just clean it off a bit more, blow it off with a bit of air, and then I'm going to completely rebuild it. Yeah. I think I got a tin of that around here somewhere. Yeah. Sitting on the floor beats lying on the floor. Oh, they only mess about. Well, I got no idea where that's coming from. Oh, hello! Well, as leaks go, that's the best leak to have. Do I have oil here? That's the question. We better go and find out, didn't we? Right, okay, here we go. Okay, so it's just got. So basically, chuck pretty much whatever you want in it. Don't do that. Just don't, because no, I'm not telling you to just do that. All I know is that I need 6.3 litres of 1030. Or, well, actually, I don't have that. I've only got 4 litres. Right, I need to pour some oil then. So, plan of attack with the sump plug is, I don't have enough oil to replace the oil, so what I'm going to do is clean it all off, pinch it up a bit, forget it was there until I come to change the oil in about 3 or 4 months' time. well, I might change it a bit sooner than that now and knowing that, but I don't have to have it up here. I can do that in the house. And yeah, I can order some oil in, and yeah. So at least we know it's doing that, and that is pretty much the only issue we've got with it. So all good. Let's crack on with everything else. That's fixed the leak. Yep, still can't see shit. 28 point. Okay, well, the minimum's 22, so. Right. That is highlighted bit of. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this with a bit of rebuild. And put all this back together, because I can't see the pad wear is even. It's about what's expected. There's no other issues that I've got with any of it. It just seems to be fine. I don't see an issue at all. I gotta put some grease on these lock pins, but other than that. I might chuck a bit on these as well. Yeah, that's what we'll do. That ain't gonna fit in there. Oh, maybe it will, I don't know. Ow! Rebuilding a can. My spidey sense is telling me that this is going to put up a fight, because they always do. And we've got a little bit of a, you've got to get this out, and you could try you could try to, we're going to try tap and twist, and by that I mean, look at that, this fantastic little tool here, which I feel I don't use often enough. As you can see, it doesn't get a lot of use. But what it does is you hit that end with a Tonya, and it goes in and it spins as well. So we just got to make sure we got it going the right way, and yeah, that'll. It's just safer because you're far less likely to either strip or snap that by doing that, because it goes in and yeah, physics is awesome. Being as I didn't, a bloody thing didn't record me taking it off, which is, it's an art form, I'll have to do it on the other side, which may or may not be easier, but I can't see a problem with these at all. They look absolutely fine. The only thing I think I might actually end up doing is obviously completely rebuilding them with the can, but I might give that a bit of a tweak there, because these have got the little thing that pushes this out, that pushes this out and it adjusts it up, but they're all right, and I can feel those there, they're contacting, the contact patch is only there to there, that's still same with this, but they've, yeah, like I said, I rebuilt these 3 years ago, and that was 5,000-6,000 miles ago. So however, the hilarious thing is, I mean, honest to God, I can barely lift it. These are excellent. They really are. I doubt they're original. Anyway, let's clear them up. So you don't really want to lubricate. This is just wanted to put a little bit on, because make sure that that's actually working. But that's a bit of anti-corrosion. You shouldn't really lubricate anything in here anyway, because the dust will just, everything will just stick to the dust. So there isn't really any point in it. And the components are designed to be. However, you're not playing ball, are you? There's our issue. That might be. I think we might have found why I was so anxious, because this ain't right. That appears to have seized. Either that or there's no return valve on it. There must be a non-return valve in there or something. Get the pad on. Yeah, that's not right. That is not right. Right, so that is your adjuster, and actually now it's under, so we're actually working here. However, a little bit of copper slip on there won't do anyone any harm, and that's in under there, so it's not. There's some sort of non-return valve on there by the looks of it, so that's why it won't, because if you let the pressure out, it works fine, so it's not seized. Yeah, so I've just got to give that a bit of a grease and get that back in there. I hate drums, really do. You! Oh yes, oh yes, there we go. Okay. Oh my God, no. I will never, ever, ever find that. Gotcha! Oh my God! Oh, so for a moment there, I thought I was just going to have to set fire to it and pretend it never happened. As you can see now, he says, the adjuster, ooh, still doesn't work. There we go, there we go, there we go. Working perfectly. And that one will go in that way, takes it out. Now, what happens is over use, you can hear it clicking, see it? And that there, it's like a little ratchet, and it holds that out. Now, we'll put all this back in, and to be honest with you, the sooner I get this back together, the better, because I just hate them. They're evil. Right, let's get this button back up. Oh, look at that. That leak's completely fixed. Never there, never there. In all seriousness though, I will change the plug washer. I think it's Doughty washer. Change the plug, the washer, when I change the oil, but I'm not planning on changing oil for another month or two yet. I normally keep oil here, just in case for some reason I don't have enough. Plenty of filters, got loads of filters and fuel filters, so I seem to end up buying them every time I order parts. Just sweet. I think these have got the normal legs on it, so remember. So, as we did with the other one, on the other side, we're going to use the special screwdriver that you activate with the BFH. Now, I don't know whether it recorded any of that, so I'm doing it all again. What we do is you give this a little tap there and it gently undoes things. This has the effect of not stripping the screw. This one is gnarly, this one. Let's give this a 60% of the time it works every time. Right. Oh, it's always a good sign. That should be attached. Now, it's a lock in. It's like a nail. I don't have any spare. Bugger. Yeah, this one's working fine. That's a bit of a shit. Right. Well, my take on it is this. It's been running fine with it for however many X amount. What I will do is I will put it all back together, minus the loose floating bit of metal. These will keep themselves in place anyway, to a certain extent. And I shall have to get a new, I think you can buy these fairly generically, I'm not going to worry about it, and we'll have to have another session on it. It's not the end of the world, but still, this is why you check these things. Couldn't tell you why it's, the wear is about right, everything in there looks alright to me. Quite a bit of extension on these, which is interesting. However, yeah. So yeah, that adjuster's working all right in there. And if I just tweak him out a little bit, yeah, look at that. That's lovely. That is. Click in, moving. This is all going back together. Not concerned about that. There is a minor concern, obviously, with that. It's not gonna kill anyone because it hasn't got anywhere to go. It can only work in one place. It might move slightly, it might cause a bit of undue wear, but honestly, it doesn't get driven that much, and I'll get these within the next couple of weeks. And at the same time, we'll do the oil, we'll do a few other bits and pieces. So yeah, I think the best thing we can do now is put this back together. Check the front. The front we're going to have fun with because it's so close to the thing. I've got to swap the wheels around as well because the wheels that are on it, I'll go over that in a bit. It's all good. Let's get this back together. Well, let's get the front off as well. So. One, two, three, four, five, six. Yes. Oh, hilarious. Oh, hilarious. Come on. There we go. Looks like that's been holding water. Oh, I've never seen that before. Yeah, it doesn't bode well for the hub / wheel bearing, and these are not fun. So I'm going to give that a bit of a clean up like I did the other side, and I'm going to hit it with some ACF 50. Yes, have to show you this because for as long as I've owned this truck, I've sworn at the engineers who made it because the oil filter is a pain in the ass to get to. Well, it's not, relatively speaking. There's worse, but this to me was like it doesn't need to be that difficult. There's loads of space here. And I've always, well, I haven't wondered, but this, you know, why would you have that there? That's a strange thing to have on any frappy vehicle, you know, a bit of a frap. And yeah, I've suddenly realised what it's for. They thought of everything, didn't they? Bloody hell. Oh look, somebody's written the date on it. Yeah, that was me. And that's... oh, it's come up to a year. You learn something every day. Right, so I've completely rebuilt that now. Same in the front. And that's just make me feel better about myself. Now, I've got, and the whole thing with these were, I've got ATs on the back and I've got roads on the front. Now, I originally bought the road tyres because they were the cheapest tyre I could get for this truck at the time. So they're a fairly individual size. So I think a lot of the older, like the L200 and what's that other one? The Navara, that's it. Roughly the same size, but these generally tend to be, I mean, 2.6. This particular one seemed to have some option wheels on it, or wheels for this particular version were 265 70 15, whereas the normal ones would be 235 65 15. I think I can't remember. So these were a big tyre with. Obviously the pros and cons of that associated. Now what I was doing with this is I had ATs in the back and roads in the front, which, you know, made sense because the back of this is driven and the front is just the steering. Those ATs are not brilliant. In fact, this in my opinion, this thing gets stuck in a wet newspaper. So what I've done, and because I have actually had occasion to do use it in a bit of a field situation. All-terrain means shit as far as I'm concerned, and that might be down to the fact that I've got, you know, they were also the cheapest all-terrains I could get. What I'm doing is I'm going to put the ATs on the front, and I've got some MTs which are in the back of there, which I'm not going to get out now, to go on the back of it. However, they're not mounted on the rims yet. I've got a spare set of rims for them. So what I'm going to do is they're going to go on the front, they're going to go on the back for now, and then I should just be able to swap them over wherever I am. Don't have to be up here to do that, and get that done. So they're going to look, it's going to look a bit odd with those in the back, but that's where we're going. But the whole point is that I get it, you know, if I have to take it off, and the thing is with it is if you've got to do it, you've got to do it. And it's not a leisure vehicle, it's not meant to, you know, because the day that I start off-roading or playing around with that type of thing is the day that everything breaks. And no, it needs to be reliable, and I'm not throwing money at this thing, so yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And before anyone says anything about that tyre there, it is rotten, as is the other one that's in there. They are rotten. So, those. There we go. Right. Okay, so let's get this on you now. Right. And yeah. Right. Yeah. It was that simple. Okay, so we got a list of we got a couple of jobs to do on this. Typically it's turned out to be more than I thought, but there you go. So now we get to let it back down, and that's actually the nerve-wracking part, because yeah, nearly 2 tons of metal floating. Anyway, oh gosh, I've got to plug the airline back in. See, this is an interesting little, obviously in terms of cost and complexity, and oh, I haven't forgotten that wheel. I got to let it back down a bit to make it easy to get it on. Obviously, in terms of cost and complexity and everything else, what happens here is this thing runs off compressed air. It's a box full of oil, a little motor, oh, hang on a minute. There we go. It's a box full of oil, a few valves, a little pneumatic motor, and that drives that and that, and it's quite cute, because what we've got to do is pump it up a bit, and you can see what's happening there. It's taking it out of the lock. Now what's going to happen here is that's going to pop. See, pop up? That is so cool. I know we sit here with our foot on it, or however long it takes to and here we go. Right. So. Oh. 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 Why are all the extensions 6 foot long? Wonder what Melvin Bragg's doing today. Bet he isn't talking his wheel nuts. I could film me doing another God knows how many, but yeah, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? Well, I'm not, because you know. So if you know, you know. If you don't, well, I'm not necessarily here to educate you. Maybe I am, I don't know. Maybe you're here to educate me. Right. We do need to check that oil. All right. To be honest with you, not impressed with that thing. Focus, 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 focus. Or just don't bother, you know. Take my word for it. Just scooch off full. So that leak wasn't really anything to worry about. However, now we know, and we'll check when it's do its oil. Well, it's do it. It's surprising I've left it so long. I think it's because I haven't used it so much this year, because I've had the Arbath to kick around in as well. She has done a little bit of work, but yeah. Right, I think. Check the ice cube juice, plenty, all good. Christ. Whoa, methylated spirits. Anyway. Now, we have to reverse it out here without killing everything underneath it and on the side of it. I've got to get a fixing pin for the brake on the back. Brake's fine, just tried up the road, it's all good. I've got to get a new sump plug, sort that out, but I'll do all that when I do the oil change. Because with this I just drop it, I don't suck it out, I just, yeah. I can't believe we didn't have any oil here, which is odd for me. But anyway, I must have used it all on something else. I think I did. Anyway, so that's all sorted, that's good. So yeah, and that's the new lift. Getting in and out here because of the angles and a few other bits and pieces is not ideal, and I don't think I'm ever going to be able to change that. The way that is, and all of this here and everything that you've got behind you, which you can't see, this has all got to change and this has all got to move, which will delay some of the content coming out. The Panda's got to be, I've got to strip the skirts off the side and properly check that, because all the Pandas of that age are now starting to get a bit ripe in the sills. So that's got to be done. But I want to get that engine, that A-Series out there and have a look and make sure it's all still turning, because I rebuilt that 3 years ago and I will be mortified if that is decided to, despite being sat here for 16 years not touched, and when I rebuilt it, and if it hasn't made it through another 3, yeah, well, that engine's been quite nicely, it's all been ported, and Cooper S head and a few other bits and pieces. I have a stage 1 kit on it, nothing too mad. Contemplating putting some roller rockers on it, 1.3, maybe 1.5, I don't know, not sure yet. So yeah, that's where we are with that. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that and the way that works. There's a little bit to be done about where it goes and how it you know, how it gets in here and how we get the vehicles in and what have you, and yeah, it does need to be an element of that, but it is movable. Perfectly still, excuse me. Oh, good lord. No idea why that's happening. So that's all good. So while I remember, I need to put the number plate back on the truck, and yeah, so do me a favour, like and subscribe and all that. Oh, I almost forgot.
It's alright, that.